Tomlin on the fake field goal.
We were just playing to win, man. We were playing aggressively. Ball was on the left hash. We had a look that we liked. We just didn't execute it very well. The ball wasn't snapped in a timely manner. It allowed them to take a picture of it. And when that happens, you're not going to be successful. But, again, I take responsibility for it. I shouldn't have called it unless we were ready to run it with detailed execution, and it's obvious that we weren't. And so that's on me.
I don't like it one bit. I like that he took account for it, and he said it's on me. Ball wasn't snapped in a timely manner. Then call a timeout from the sideline. You know, I don't like this. I can like the Steelers' result. I can like the fact that they're 4-3. I hate all of this. I hate the thought of doing it. I hate executing it. I hate carrying it on. I hate the kicker almost getting killed. I hate the play call because as Charlie Batch mapped out, and you can check it out on his Twitter feed, the number one receiver in the route is triple covered. You're asking a non-passer to do one of two things: beat somebody to the pylon, 4 people to the pylon, or thread a ball through triple coverage who's a non-passer. If you want to take risks, and if you want to be a gambler, leave your offense out on the field.
Yeah, it made no sense to me at that point to forego points. I can understand scenarios maybe where a fake field goal, yeah, we'd celebrate it if it works and criticize it if it doesn't, and all things being equal. This was not one of those points in time. This was 3 points are right there for you with a reliable, dependable kicker, and it's going to be what, a 27-yard field goal? I think it would have been 28-yard field goal. It's there for you in a game where you're going to be lucky to score 17, and it's really a race to 17 with the 2 defenses out there on the field. And you forego the 3, but not just forego the 3 points, but to your point and to Charlie's point, what was that play? There's 2 guys in the pattern. Both of them are covered. What's Boswell supposed to do with that play if everybody's covered? On
top of that, you had momentum, and you risked at that point losing all momentum. You should be up 6-3. It was – I don't understand at all Boswell's left bleeding, quite literally, on the first down stick. He's down on one knee, and blood is pouring from his nose. You don't put a little guy in the world of big guys and think he's going to come out okay. And this isn't college where you have 5 kickers on scholarship. You got one guy. The Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday lost 5 points in that football game because of that play call. They lost 5. They lost the field goal there and 2 extra points because of that. And look, you can think that Mike Tomlin's a good coach. You can think, wow, I'm happy the Steelers won. You can think all of that and still think that play call is wholly inexcusable. And the other part, just because Boswell wakes up today and he's okay, that don't mean he's going to be okay tomorrow. He's got a head injury. He's checked for concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. And he is, like him, hate him, whatever, he is one of the most valuable members of this football team and has been since the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Kansas City Chiefs and won a playoff game. He quite literally scored every single one of their points. You don't put your kicker in that situation.
You can't compete without a kicker, and they don't have a kicker without Chris Boswell.
And they have a good one with them.
And the final point I'd make on the decision to do it at that point in time is you were also going to get the ball to start the second half.
Correct.
You didn't need to race for – I mean, you didn't – it was idiotic to me.
Jim, his in-game risk-reward balance is so askew right there. I don't understand. And the defense had been playing very well.
Yeah, the other thing, if you've got a situation where the other team is going to try to block it, then that's when a fake will work because guys are selling out. They were in complete safe mode. Mm-hmm. And, look, I have seen them work on that play a bunch, okay? Can't tell you when, but I've seen it. And it's almost as if the Browns had somebody up in that building, the FBI building, whatever building it is, across the railroad tracks, watching and going like, and they knew it was like they knew it was
coming.
They
sniffed it out. Yeah.
Well, and that's my whole point, though. You can call a timeout from the sideline.
Yeah.
You can call a timeout, and it's not just on Mike Tomlin. It's on the special teams coordinator as well. If you're looking for a trigger man to bleed out and you're looking for that guy that's the edge guy and they blanket and they come out of what is a block and it's then a cover, call timeout right away. Or the holder has that designated duty of doing that. But you can do it from the sideline. For Mike Tomlin to throw this all on the players is garbage. Even though he goes, well, ultimately it's me. But we didn't execute. And he puts it on the long snap or something. We didn't snap it fast enough.
Well, it's not up to the snapper when he snaps
correct.
it. Somebody has to tell him to snap it. And and in terms of the holder, I mean, Harvin's down on his knee and can't. There's a bunch of big guys, so it's got to be either on Boswell. It's got to be either on the kicker or it's got to be on Tomlin, which is accept responsibility. The other thing that should have happened, of course, is that there should have been a penalty and it should have been first down and goal to go from like the 1 yard line. But nonetheless, I was thinking of the James Harrison long snap situation. You remember that? And when they had, and that was a disaster. And I was thinking at some point in the second half,
I was thinking of Sean Sweezum, to be honest with you, when it happened, because the guy didn't get up. And the last time we saw John Norwig
to make a kick
kneeling,
in a preseason game.
The last time we saw John Norwig kneeling over a kicker, it spelled the end for somebody. And it's just, there's no situation right now in a 3-3 game late in October where you put your kicker in harm's way like that. You just don't. And again, just because, and look, he'll probably be okay, but just because you don't screw around with head injuries, man. And just because, and was it a penalty? Probably was. Gene Steratore said as much.
Yeah, it was roughing the passer.
But for me, point 2 doesn't happen with point 1. And point 1 is the boneheaded decision to put the kicker in that position. And look, here's the other part, and you get this morning. Oh, it should have been a penalty. It should have been. Can you believe it wasn't a penalty? And all you get is an apology for the NFL. Okay, I'll grant you that point. It was a penalty. There you go. You know what else? You know what you don't get back?
Your kicker.
Your kicker's still laying there.
Yeah. That's, the long-term risk and the penalty that they paid.
It just, at that point in the game, it doesn't make any sense either.
No, and the defense had played so well after that opening drive. Cleveland did nothing. And so, okay, you're going to have a 3-point lead, and then you assume the defense is going to hold again, and then you get the ball. So I agree with you.
And then on top of that, one, you can't kick extra points or field goals in the second half. You get your punter who you're getting totally in his head because then he has to kick off, which he kicked right out of bounds. Mm-hmm. You have to hustle in 2-point plays that you think maybe are going to work.
You got to go for 2 after a holding call.
Correct.
When you're at the 12-yard line. I mean,
now I don't know the rule. Could Harvin have, instead of kicked off, could he have punted the football after scores?
No, I don't think
it has to touch the ground.
I think so.
Could he have drop kicked then?
Maybe, but
could they have got a fat guy to just walk up and super jock it and just tow it as hard as he could?
Oddly enough, and he wasn't available.
Hey, you're not doing anything else. Get over here.
During training camp in brighter times, Melvin Ingram used to goof around trying to kick, like from the 20-yard line, trying to kick placements.
He was out with feelings this week. So
he wasn't available.
Unavailable feelings, yes. So there was that. But I would challenge anybody to make a sound argument for running that play yesterday. And the only sound argument is built on ifs. If it would have worked, you guys wouldn't be saying it. Well, guess what? It didn't.
Right.
It didn't work, and your kicker got put in the next week.
And every level of it you call into question. Not because it didn't work, to your point, but because you can look at it in hindsight. You could look at it in real time and go, what? What? A, why do you fake it at that point in time and in that spot on the field? B, why do you run that play where, again, there are only 2 guys in the pattern? What is Boswell going to do with the football if nobody's open? He's supposed to run for it on, 4th and 9? All of a sudden, Boz is going to pick it up on a little scramble, and then you're putting him in danger. Where if it doesn't even have to be he gets blasted into the sideline on a call that should have been roughing the passer. He just gets tackled the wrong way and rolled up on. It could blow out a knee, and now you're looking for a kicker.
Yeah, you blow out your whole season. It's just he is – and you know what else it brings? Rather than to just keep, going back and how terrible this is, it shows how valuable quietly Boswell has been. I was down on Boswell for a time. He
had that one awful year.
Right.
And that was it. Everything else, he's been great otherwise.
And he has been a guy you can rely on. Since they moved the extra point back, he's been good now. He's got it back in order. And he's just too valuable to put in a situation like that, and that's why you don't do it. It's not some hey, look, the Chargers want to do it? Go ahead. Their kicker sucks. Let him get hit.
And this isn't the Steelers' offense of 4 or 5 years ago where they were going to rack up 30 points. And
Right.
if you got to go for 2 a couple times and not get it, oh, well, don't worry. We're going to score 5 touchdowns today. You have to fight and scratch and claw quite literally for every single point. And you can't afford to not have a kicker.
I just hope he's fine throughout the week because we have seen before that guys are fine that first day and then they don't pass all the way through the protocol.
Dr. Ben said, thank goodness he's okay. So that was his prognosis.
Oh, and he was on Instagram, Boswell, saying that for Halloween he went as a quarterback and it didn't go so well after he got back.
Did he really?
Yes, that's what he said
That's
on
very
Instagram.
fun.
That is pretty good. The Steelers got
That is.
jokes all over the place.
Yeah.